Yes, I really was pleased that this bike got stolen, but I need to give you the background. A few people have asked, have I got any stories in my back catalogue of some of my earlier antics with cars and bikes, and this is one that did spring to mind. I'm going to plead naivety, but you'll see what I mean when we get into it. This was back when I was 17 years old. I just got my first 125cc motorbike, which was a hand-me-down from my brother, which was a sort of commuter special Honda CG 125 with a whole rip-roaring 11 horsepower. Now remember, this was the early 80s, just after the law had been changed that any learner could only have a 12 horsepower motorcycle. But of course, when you're 17, you want as much horsepower as you can. Now, I came across in a local dealer a spares or repair Honda CB125 Twin. Now, this was a pre-learner law, full bore 16 horsepower bike, because it was a twin cylinder 125, and of course, I couldn't resist it. But once I got it home, I discovered why it was spares or repair. The frame was bent. No biggie, I managed to find at another dealer's one that they were stripping for spares, purchased the frame, took it home, swapped everything over, took it in for MOT, off I went. What could possibly be the problem? Well, the problem was I swapped everything over on to the new frame, including the number plate. Now I'm going to plead naivety here, but I put it in for an MOT. Okay, the checks weren't quite as comprehensive back then. It got an MOT and off we went. A few months later, I come across my now almost infamous Kawasaki GPZ 305 that I wanted to buy. So I sold on my Honda CB125 to a schoolmate. Schoolmate who was actually called Tommy, which was short for Tommy Gun. Now that was actually a nickname, and he got it because he had a really bad stutter. These were the days before political correctness come along, so just remember that it was of that era. So anyway, Tommy happily goes off on my bike. Come the September, Tommy goes off to university with his bike, and it's only really just occurring to me at that point that there's a bit of a problem here, that obviously the number plate and the frame don't really match. I think this came to light when I got rid of the frame and I realised, Anyway, he's off at university. When he comes back at Christmas, I meet up with him and he tells me it's got stolen. I thought, flippin' heck, thank God for that, really, because maybe it got stolen and they took the number plate off, and of course if it had been found, the frame would have gone back to a number plate that wasn't with the bike, etc, etc. So it all would have got horribly complicated and messy, but thankfully, and I mean thankfully, it was stolen and it was never seen again. I hope you enjoyed that little bit of a side story. A few people have asked if I've got any tales, and I've got a few more tucked up my sleeve that I can come up with. But please, if you've got anything similar, drop us a comment. Tell me your little embarrassing stories from when you were younger.